addiction and politics, war and gunshot fire, and you have garrison communities and people buy guns and, you know what I mean, build armies, quote unquote. And that is where the real crime started, from the political culture of Jamaica, and it has reached a level now that it has branched off into many different ways, you know what I mean? But it's originally started from the old political culture. So the violence and crime in Jamaica, the main blame for that is really the government itself, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Hey, watch. Poor people approach. First class approach. Emergency, we are suffer around here. Round here, man, a dating stuff around here. Crime scene, call up, man, a buff around here. Mr. Man, what them doing for the gut around here? Emergency, we are suffer around here. Round here, man, a dating stuff around. Crime scene, call up, man, a buff around here. Mr. Man, what you doing? What you doing? Two party, but at the same sad song, them a play. Poor people, money lead back a yak away. Them raise everything from high to grave day. They know how them no raise up bound the line here. Poor boy, me man, that's so me yard stay. So me not pay no tolls because no cause here. Mr. Bruce, Mr. Peachy, this is just a couple question from a daily DJ. Question Kingston make no ear here. Question Okon come in a jail here. Who want the wife on the airport, the dock and the beer? Emergency, we are suffer around here. Round here, man, and they think stuff around. Crime scene, tall up, man, I go for around here. Ice with them doing for the gut around here. Emergency, we are suffer around here. Round here, man, and think stuff around here. Crime scene, tall up, man, I go for around here. This summer.
When I used to live in Denham Town, Jonestown, Rosetown, all these towns, Trenchtown, politics was a thing that my mom might love the Labour right, the Labour Party. My pa might love the PNP Party. But that doesn't change the family's connection as a family. And the neighbors the same. But now, in the lesser privileged community, you're in a garrison. You're born a Labour right. You're born a PNP. All that is wrong. You know, that is, and there are people who have bring that about, planted that seed, and it has become what it is today. And that is what is, you know, that's what the violence is feeding on. People are disunited, and then they have guns. So people who invented all of that kind of stuff must have known that this would be the result of it, because they are educated people. There are people who have been, you know, trained to more deliver the people out of stuff like this, more than to put them into that, because that's not what they're paid for, as they are civil servants.
Who don't see that the way has gotta be strong? Come on and join with me in a land of liberty, where we can live. Come on and live our lives and be free. So free.
What is happening is that the people who are really guilty are not the people getting the blame. I've never heard in Jamaica where anyone that imports illegal firearms have been charged. I've never learned of or heard of anyone charged for the distribution of illegal firearms in Jamaica. But I've heard a lot of youth being charged for having guns in their possession and shooting people.
What they gonna do when enough for them not true? Say what they gonna do, them get slow, yeah. Who do you think you are? We're living in a small world. As wicked as you think you are, we're living in a small world.
Greetings, His Imperial Majesty Emperor Selassie I. Yeah, man, this is the King of Fire, otherwise known as Capitan, otherwise known as King Shango, otherwise known as the Prophet.
As bad as you think you are, we're living in a small world.
The music is there to cover, you know, it is galactic and it is global, you know, and it is there to cover, you know, every era, you know, within the levels of oppression or depression that people face out there in the earth. And, you know, it's not only, you know, black people go through slavery, you know what I mean? And slavery not just only come on a physical term, you have mental slavery.
That day will come when I shall stand and see all these wicked men in the fire getting burned. They will come when they will try to escape and there will be nowhere to run. That day will come when I shall see them handing over bombs and bayonets and bullets and guns. That day will come when Emperor Selassie I shall rise the whole of the get a youth them from the slum yard. And that day I would love to see the face for all those who've led it to the human race and try to take things out of place, run away to space, shoot them in a ace. Wow. If you want a judgment, you are gonna get a taste
Badness they send and the people them chase. Smile on my face. That day will come when I shall stand and see all these wicked men in the fire getting burned. That day will come when they will try to escape and there will be nowhere to run.
96 degrees in the shade, real hot, oh yes, in the shade. 96 degrees in the shade, real hot, oh yes, in the shade. Oh, that sounds here, right? That can't work, man. I'm gonna go try it. Come. Yes, Dad. Half yours. Half yours, my brethren.
Yes, sir. It's in the KFC, isn't it?
Yeah.
No. Oh, we can get it done right, you know?
Said it was 96 degrees in the shade. 10,000 soldiers on parade, taking eye and eye to meet a big fat boy sent from overseas, the Queen of Joy.
Your Excellency, before you I come with my representation. You know where Rasta coming from, yes. Caught me on the loose, fighting to be free. Show me a noose on the cotton tree. Entertainment for you, but it's martyrdom for me. 96 degrees in the shade, real hot, oh yes, in the shade. 96 degrees in the shade, real hot, hear me when I say in the shade. Some may suffer and some may burn, but I know that one day all of my children gonna learn. Sure as the sun shines bright in the morning skies, today I stand here a victim, yes. Truth is I'll never die. 96 degrees in the shade, real hot, hear me when I sing in the shade.
Okay, one of the most important things for us third world to project through the years has been our feelings about our own people and our own situation around us. We had related certain experiences that we know about through history. 96 degrees in the shade is a perfect example of that song, of that thought. Because it's like the song itself is expressing a direct historical event, which was the hanging of Paul Bogle. But through even singing about that event, we're showing the listener the whole thing of slavery, you know?
Watch it, true boy.
96 degrees in the shade,
Not so long ago, a property like this, if you had the pigmentation of, say, what I have here, we couldn't be in this great house telling you these stories. We were like confined to certain quarters back behind the bush. And we only arrived in this house when we were summoned. So we have made some progress, you know. Like they have said that we run things. We don't fully have total control, but we make some progress. And the music has been like the voice of all those slaves who used to live in this yard, you know. So we are grateful as this generation that we get the opportunity to go all over the world, play reggae music, and express what all those people went through, our forefathers. We never forget them ever.
Do you remember the days of slavery? Remember the days of slavery. Do you remember the days of slavery? Do you remember the days of slavery? Do you remember the days of slavery? Do you remember the days of slavery?